As we all know that routing is a process of creating a route or a route for data packets. Now there are two types of routing, that is static routing and dynamic routing. But what is the difference between static and dynamic routing? What is routing? Routing is a process of creating the route for data packets and it occurs in the network layer of OSI model. There are two types of routing, that is static routing and the dynamic routing, where static routing does not use any routing protocol. On the other hand, dynamic routing uses routing protocols such as RIP, IGRP, EIGRP, OSPF, ISIS, and the like. What is static routing? Static route is the route that the network administrator manually enters into the routing table. It is a one-way communication, and here we do not use any routing protocol. Now, how does static routing work? Let us find out. For example, there are five routers connected to each other, and you want to send data from router 1 to router 3. And the default route you have created in such a way is router 1 is going to forward data to router 2, and router 2 will forward this information to router 3. Just imagine a situation if the router 2 fails. Router 1 cannot decide where the alternate route is going to be. So in this scenario, the administrator has to manually configure router 1 for the alternate route or route so that router 1 goes to router 4, router 5, and router 3. So the biggest drawback of static routing is that it requires 24/7 support because if the default route failed, the router cannot decide the alternate route for the data packets. It is a time-consuming process. The user has to wait until the administrator configures the alternate route for the data packets. So to overcome this problem, we are going to use dynamic routing. Now, what is dynamic routing? Dynamic routing uses routing protocol for creating a route for the data packets. Here, the router automatically collect and store dynamic route or dynamic route in the routing table. Example, there are five routers connected to each other. The administrator is not going to create a static route or a default route for the routers, but instead, the network administrator will assign a routing protocol to all of these routers, and this routing protocol will automatically decide the best route for the data packets. In this scenario, if any of this router or link fails, the routing protocol is going to be smart that automatically chooses the alternate route for the data packets immediately. And like in this process, it minimizes the work pressure of the network administrator. The users need not to wait for the long time for the link to go up. So this is a very good thing for dynamic routing. Here's the side-by-side comparison between static and dynamic routing. Static routing does not use routing protocol. On the other hand, dynamic routing uses routing protocol. In static routing, the administrator manually configures the route and makes an entry to the routing table. On the other hand, dynamic routing, here routing protocol decides the route for the data packets and makes an entry to the routing table. Static routing is suitable for small networks, while dynamic routing suitable is suitable for larger networks. In static routing, if the link fails, it affects the entire network. While in dynamic routing, if a link failure. If a link fails, it does not affect the network because the routing protocols are smart and is going to find an alternate route or alternate route for the packet. And for security, in static routing, security is high, while in dynamic routing, security is lesser. In static routing, the route does not change automatically. On the other hand, route changes automatically according to the changes in the network in dynamic routing. So these are differences between static routing and dynamic routing. Hopefully, these simple concepts are clear and are easy to remember. Thank you guys for listening. Have a nice day. Bye.